Welcome to Monday Night Live, the weekly training that guides professionals to financial prosperity. Join our community and let's start building your wealth.
2 weeks ago, we went over the Realeflow and the team platform from the standpoint of getting listings. Okay. Obviously, listings is where it's at. So, for those of you who are relatively new, you definitely want to work with buyers too. I've known agents over the years who refuse to work with buyers. That's like saying no to half your income. Okay. I don't want to ruffle any feathers. It's just a mathematical certainty, right? The point is, the way the new NAR rules are, you have to separate yourself from the herd. Okay. I've seen so many comments on social media lately. What do I do? I don't know what to do. I got the same tools as the guy down the street. How am I possibly going to set myself apart from the crowd? That's them. Okay. If you're here, you have the team platform, number one, and you have the Realeflow platform, number two. And when you use the two together, it not only allows you to get listings, it empowers you to get listings, but more importantly, right now with the buyers, when you meet with a buyer, take your laptop, show them Realeflow, show them how you can find on and off market deals. Okay. Show them the Hammertown repair estimator. That's the tool that all the contractors use. You can't get any better than that. Show them that. What do buyers want to know? How much is it going to cost to remodel this house when I get in there? New bathroom, new carpeting, whatever. Show them. Okay. Assumable mortgages. So those of you on a team, remember we looked at that program the guy had in Northern Virginia, Assume List. Remember that Assume List? $1,500 a month. Here we can find assumable mortgages right at our fingertips. We don't have to spend $1,500 a month. It's already in the system. So that's just we're going to cover at a minimum those three things tonight. And also, I know I spoke to Karen earlier. Um, she's got a very unique opportunity right now, guys. And we were discussing. I just said, Karen, can you please come to class tonight so we can demonstrate how powerful this is with what Karen has in front of her, a potential client, or actually a client. He sent her identification and everything. So that's a client, right? Who's looking to buy certain types of properties and he's looking for certain rents. We can find that out from using the platform. Okay. So also Christian has been, he's had to pause using the letter because of the volume of calls that he has backed up, right? And so, in any case, we're gonna go over these things. It's going to be a packed class, but for everybody that's relatively new, for everybody actually, if you could please open up a browser session and open up the Realeflow account that you have. Okay, if you don't have an account yet, don't worry. Just don't stop hesitating because you're missing out. All right, I'm being coach here tonight. Get the platform so you can use these classes to your advantage. We don't just teach and teach and teach. You know, these are working sessions, right? So you're going to get actual stuff done. Okay. So open up your account. And also if you can open up the team platform to the team dashboard. Okay. That will be awesome. And by the way, Deb Warner is also on tonight and she just taught a class for us a little over a month ago, just about exactly a month ago, but it was awesome. So, we can pick her brain. She's been using the letter, and I think, and Deb, you just got, is it two listings? Is it this month? The listings were they wanted to list, or I can't remember exactly when that was. You're muted, Deb.
They're probably going to list after the election. For some reason, people think
Yeah.
the world is going to change, but I don't see that.
Well, the problem is people hesitate because of uncertainty.
Yeah, yeah.
And what do smart people do when there's uncertainty in the world?
Take advantage.
Yeah, you get out there and take advantage of it. So, in any case, I'm going to go ahead and get started here because I want to make sure we respect everybody's time. And also, Deb and Karen and Christian, um, I want to let them have the microphone a little bit. So first things first, let me go ahead and we use the chat box. If you do use the QA panel, Michael McGran, can you promote me to panelist, please? Eric, if you could promote Michael McGran, that would be great. And everybody that's still in the attendee panel, when Eric promotes you to panelist, again, I'll just say this one last time, please let yourself be a panelist. It doesn't mean you're going to be on a panel. It just means you can use all the tools we have. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to communicate with the whole crowd. And I've got to, type things in twice and so forth. So in any case, if you could do that, that would be really awesome. So let me share my screen. Okay. And I'm just going to show you a few things in Realeflow. Okay. So this is the Realeflow system. This is the home screen you get to when you first log in. Okay. Now, just as a quick reminder, if you scroll down and click on knowledge base, there's a great panel of videos, written material that you can get, very short and sweet, on getting started. Okay. Like right here, call number 2, lead generation. And that analyze using the analysis tools like HammerPoint. There you go, HammerPoint Repair Estimator. Marketing, leads, everything you need is in there. Okay. To get started on the learning process. But also, what's really cool, if you scroll down here, see that 855 number? Once you're in the game and you're creating files, you're communicating with people, and you really want to take to the next level, call that number. They'll set you up with another free half hour with a Realeflow consultant to help you get whatever it is you're trying to do up and running. Anyway, I'm going to help you. Coming to class is going to help you. So my goal is to get you started, to get you up and running. So now for tonight's class, I'm going to click on lead pipes right there. And I'm going to click on property leads right here. Okay. And this is how we search. Now they're always trying to get us to try new gadgets. So I'm going to click off on that. So Karen, can I use you first for a guinea pig? If we can take what you were presenting with today and use this exercise to help you, but also show everybody else. Does that sound cool?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay.
So
go ahead and tell everybody how this came about briefly, and then what your request is from the client.
okay. So a few days ago, I had a text from an individual, and he was interested in looking for investment properties here in Pittsburgh. So I, of course, I answered. I usually will answer, but I'm typically a little bit a little bit not quite so sure, who I'm talking to. So I'm not, I don't know who I'm dealing with. But anyway, so I did respond, and he was talking about, he said that he was looking for properties in the $1.5 million range. He wanted to purchase 3 or 4 of those properties. He wanted new construction. And, when you're talking that kind of money, it's kind of like, this could be a scam, whatever, because Pittsburgh properties, those are going to be, on the higher end. So anyway, I wasn't quite so sure. Anyway, we started talking, and he told me about his whole life story pretty much, and his child, and he sent me a picture of he and his little girl, and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, we talked all weekend long. We texted back and forth, and I said to him, I said, I was a little unsure as to whether or not, this was a scam. And so right away, he sent me his state ID, his driver's license from New York. But, he told me his hobbies, and his hobbies are yachting and all the normal, types of hobbies of, the wealthy, anyway, golfing and blah, blah, blah. So, but anyway, he would like to purchase several, new construction homes, and he's looking really more for asset appreciation. I asked him that question, are you looking at cash flow or asset appreciation? And he's looking more at asset appreciation. So anyway,
In Allegheny County, it's like if I start there, is that a good starting place?
No, not necessarily, just in the Pittsburgh area. As a matter of fact, I'm starting where I live, and that's in Peters Township. So,
So I'm gonna do the county level because that way we'll catch.
well,
So Washington
I'm
County.
doing Allegheny and Washington County is where I
Okay.
started. So that's what I did.
You guys, you can type in multiple counties, multiple zip codes, and it doesn't matter where you are anywhere in the country. Okay. So I'm going to do Allegheny and Washington County. Now we're going to have probably 750,000 or a little over 500,000 properties, 526,735.
No,
So-
well, yeah, until you start putting in the over $1 million price
Yep.
and new properties.
And here's how we're going to do that. If you look in the primary criteria, you don't have price range. But if you click on filters, this is the thing I want you guys to remember.
Right,
Click on filters,
right.
and it gives you a whole other set of criteria. And look at that right there, property values.
Right.
So let's say 1 million.
He's looking basically around $1.5 million for each property, but I'm looking at anything over $1 million for him. So, you know, the 1 to 1.7 is kind of the range that I'm looking at.
Okay. All right. I was going to put 2 million, but that's okay. 1,700,000. All right. So that's the price range. Now let's go ahead before we do any other. Oh, down here, something else.
He's looking for a minimum of 4 to 5 bedrooms.
Yep. And I'm going to
pretty much the same number of baths. He preferred a swimming pool, but I had suggested to him that he not make that a requirement because Pittsburgh's a little odd. And in the Pittsburgh market, unless you are a transplant, which I am, I love pools. This is the first home I've owned without a pool. But there's a lot of Pittsburghers that are not pool friend. You know, they just don't care about pools.
Right. Hey, Karen. So I just eliminated everything but single family.
Yeah.
And bedrooms you said was minimum 5 bedroom. Is that right?
4 to 5. 4 to 5.
Let's just put 4.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's gonna search some more.
3 to 4 baths.
Yep. Now it's down to 4854. So let's go bathrooms. Let's do
4. Well,
4.
it could be because it could be half baths too. So you know, what do you want to put?
That's okay.
Yeah.
But here's what I want to do down here now. So year built. We want to see if we can focus on brand new properties.
Yes.
So owner information, years of ownership, et cetera, et cetera. Yep. Loan to value, mortgage type. Okay. So let's look and see. Adjusted rate, balloon, fixed rate, multiple loan amounts, others. Step interest rate, variable rate, all inclusive trust deed. Just go over here to loan type. So probably this is going to be. Sorry, my eyes are getting bad here. Let me uncheck balloon. Hang on one second. So a construction loan. That's what I'm looking for.
Yep, it's right there.
So we know if there's a construction loan involved, that it's new construction.
Right.
Okay. Now look at this. We hit the magic number 40. What we're looking for, guys, is a file between 20 and 50. Okay. 20 and 50. So we know the properties now. And we're going to also then know the builders. Okay. So if I go up here, it's, 40 properties. Let's just pick on one of these. Timberline Drive. Okay. And by the way, you can use a polygon. Well, we have to go back. Sorry. When you have your list of properties, click this circle with the square in it with the 4 dots, 1 dot on each corner. That's how you draw a polygon, which means you can draw a circle or a square or a triangle or any shape you want around any area. Okay. Now back here. So the property's 370 Timberline Drive, 5 bedroom, 4.5 bath. This is the first property, 4146 square feet. And I mean, obviously it looks like a nice area. Look at the size of those lots. Retail value, 1.267. Rental value. Here's what's really important, guys. So the discussion that Karen and I were having, she knows her area. She knows this guy's probably going to have more success looking for something in the $700,000 range. And I agree with her. However, always give the client what they ask for first. Give him the data that he's asking for. Don't ever try to talk him into something else right away. Later on, you'll have the option to do that, and you'll have earned the right to do that. So always give them what they want first. Okay, and here's why this is important. We have the actual rental range from the area. Okay, and it's using the HUD. Forget the website. We have the website on our team's website, by the way, the one you need to get rents on any area in the country. This is where this comes from. Okay, so Karen can show this guy, here's the average rents for this price range. Then she could do another search later on in a 700 to 999 range and give him the rents for those values and let him see side by side a comparison that's 700 to a million and a million to 1.7 million, the price and the rents, and therefore the ratio, right? Now we know this guy's looking for capital appreciation and preservation of capital. Cash flow is actually secondary to him. So remember this is another thing to write down. Not every investor is looking for cash flow primarily. I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. Usually when people buy really expensive properties, these places are looking to preserve capital and to take advantage of asset appreciation over time. That's more important to them than cash flow because they know they can sell the place 5 years later and make a lot more money. And if you make 25% on $1 million property, that's $250,000. That's hard to make $250,000 in 5 years in rents, net profit, by the way, in rents on one property. Okay, so just keep those things in mind. These things will become more instinctive to you as you gain more experience. So in any case, I mean, there's all kinds of information here. I just don't want to go through all of it right now. We already know everything we know. We know they got a construction loan. We know who they got it from, Main Street Bank. We know when they took it out. We know the interest rate, 2.8% is variable rate. And one thing I know about this kind of a loan, it's likely assumable. Okay. Variable rate mortgages are often assumable. Okay. So can you guys, let's just take a quick pause here. Can you guys see how this can be used to achieve what Karen's looking to achieve? Just do a hand raise or type in the chat box, I see. You can put in the letters capital I and a capital C. You don't have to spell out IC if you want to save keystrokes. And also, let me just double check and see if we have any questions here. So if you have questions, please let me know. And Erica, if you could help me manage the chat box too, that would be great. Now, guys, there's something else I want to point out here, and I want Karen to talk about this just for a minute, Karen. Why would an investor want to look at new construction to invest in? What's one or two or three good reasons, you know?
Well, first of all, it's going to appreciate at a greater rate, so that's going to be the number one thing. Number two, everything is going to be state of the art, so he wants everything new, right? And as far as maintenance, I mean, he's not going to have that nightmare of having to worry about fixing anything. So, I mean, I think those are probably three right there. Probably some of the three best reasons. And then, when it's time to sell, he still won't have to worry about really doing much fix up other than, from whatever the tenant has done. And in a high end, hopefully they haven't done a lot of damage to the property.
Yep.
You would think, right? I mean, not always is that true, but I mean, in general, I think it's probably something that he can pretty much bank on. And I did ask him, for sure, just so that I could make sure that he was more interested in asset appreciation as opposed to cash flow. He was happy with the investments, short-term investments he has. So he said he's not concerned about that. So he was definitely looking at the long haul.
Yep. It's a great strategy. I've seen it done in multiple places and it works. First time I saw it was with an investor I knew in Alabama.
Yeah.
And I thought about it. He's got a 10-year, roof to footing warranty on the property. He's going to get the best tenants because it's a brand new home.
Right.
He's going to keep it for 10 years with no headaches, top rents, and he doesn't have to cut the grass because the tenant's going to cut the grass, you know? So, in any case, all right, what I'm doing, guys, here is I unselected construction loan, and I'm going back to the criteria panel, not the filter panel, but the criteria panel, and I clicked active listing. And look, there's 31 properties that are actively listed in that price range, but I'm going to unselect active listing and then look at how many properties there are that are not listed. And that doesn't mean that people want to sell them, but there's 2,722 properties, right? And only 32 were actively listed. That means there's potentially almost 2,700 properties that you can now approach the seller and say, I've got a buyer who wants to buy a property just like yours in your area. That is a powerful position to be in. Okay. That's the biggest thing I want to show you guys tonight is how you can use this to not only satisfy your buyers, stand out in the crowd for them, because you can tell them, I can find you properties right now that are not even on the MLS. They're going to say, how can you do that? You just tell them, I've got this amazing tool that lets me see everything I need to see on every property in the entire country. Okay. And you can use other criteria to narrow this down. We can see who's behind on property taxes. Let's see that. Well, that'll be interesting, especially in the million plus range. But get ready for a shocker. Okay. Hang on, it's loading now. It's getting all the county data. Now, just imagine what delinquent tax bills would be on a $1.5 million property. So, but I've seen million plus dollar properties go on the auction block with the owners who were like lenders, or they were, somehow or other tied to the real estate business, and they understood their business, but they were way over leveraged. And what have we seen the last couple of years to prices and interest rates? Everything's gone up, and people couldn't help themselves. It's just like people that they gamble. I'm not knocking if you gamble. I just don't gamble. But it's like you've got to have it, and that's what happens. So people buy stuff that they can afford today, but when life circumstances change, they don't have the income to pay for the payments. Well, this thing's sitting here thinking about it forever. So the point I'm trying to make is, you can use this to find people, right? Let's click on foreclosure activity. So foreclosure activity is they're receiving notices of default. They're not in even pre-foreclosure yet. Bank's just telling them, hey, you're 30 days behind. Now you're 60 days behind. Now you're 90 days behind. There's 4 properties in the million plus range where people are behind on the property taxes. And here they are right here. 1.3, 1.3, 1.3. And Allison Park, where I used to live. By the way, guys, I almost bought a property in Bradford Woods in 2012 for $125,000. Look at that price there, 1.3. I kick myself every time I look at that. I guess that the address was called 99 Seldom Seen Lane. That is like right up my alley, man. 99 Seldom Seen. I thought that's got to be me, but stupid me didn't do it. So, in any case,
I'm kicking myself for you, Gary.
What's that?
I'm kicking myself for you.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, share the pain.
Gary,
Yep.
can I ask a question?
Yep.
Which of those okay, so if I want to pick, let's say, a zip code, and I want 250 homes that are likely to sell in the next year, which of these categories would you choose, so that I can make a list?
Yep. Well, I don't know that there's one that's like the best of all, but I will tell you this. We are definitely having success by choosing long-term owner,
Okay.
which is 25 years of ownership or more. Okay. They're more likely to have the property paid off. But here's the real crazy thing. They're also more likely to have delinquent tax activity. In fact, remember, guys, when we discovered this, it was probably about a year ago, I found that report that said there were $30 billion in unpaid property taxes that year. And 93% of the time, the owner had no mortgage. I'm like, how the heck does that happen? Well, it's because throughout the life of their mortgage that they did have, taxes and insurance were escrowed. Now they don't have that being done for them. They have to pay the taxes directly from their own checking account. Not the bank's not going to pay it on their behalf from money that they contributed all year long. So I think that's what's happening. I mean, I don't know everybody's circumstances, but I'm telling you, they're already thinking, should we move to Florida? Should we move to Arizona? Should we downsize? Right? And now they got this property tax bill piling up on them, and the counties normally let them go for 3 years, then they bring down the hammer. So you can see they'll tell you, you can look at the data, how many times or how many years it gives you what years are behind. That's which is I think fascinating. So in any case, so Karen, that's one big one right there. I will tell you, Born Investor has always been a good search for us because it's investor-owned properties where the investor hasn't bought anything in 10 years. And statistically, most investors start selling after 10 years. And I'm one of them. My average hold time was only 12 years. That was it, 12 years per property. So I love that category because I also know investors are generally going to be more open-minded, more creative. They'll listen to opportunity, they'll listen to what you have to offer them. So I like Board Investor.
It just
And
doesn't work
sometimes I'll
very
combine,
well for a new construction
yeah,
or a long-term owner.
yeah, but I'll combine Board Investor with vacancy. Okay. So I'll combine Board Investor with vacancy, and that's a really good one because you already know they've owned it a long time. They're probably already got a lot of gray hair like this. And now they got a vacancy on top of that. Then I can tell you, every investor that's owned properties a long time, they get a vacancy. They're like, oh boy, not again. I wish I could just get rid of all these things. I can hear it now. Those are the ones you want to write a letter to.
I
And
can't
by the
see,
way,
I can't
yeah,
see everybody, but I'd like to find out if everybody can put in the chat how many people have made a website through EXP.
well, everybody has it automatically.
I
You
know,
just have to
but you have
customize
to
it.
set
Yeah.
it up. How many people have set it
Oh,
up? How
I
many?
bet maybe 20%.
Well,
I
I'd
mean,
like to,
mine's set up. Yeah,
I'm
but
just asking a question.
yeah, yeah. If you guys have customized your
You
KV
guys,
Core website,
yeah,
just
your
type in a chat
KVR
box.
website.
Yeah, because that's a good
You can
question.
answer a question. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd like you
And
to
I
answer.
know why Karen's asking. So Karen, tell them why you're asking. That's a great question, by the way.
I am asking because it took me a while to do mine. And I will say it did. It took me a while. I wasn't really thinking about doing it, etc. But I did it. I mean, not in the past like couple weeks or anything, but a little while ago I did it. But this guy found me through EXP, through my website.
Yep.
So
Definitely use your website.
so I just thought that I'd kind of bring that up because you never know, where you're gonna be found or seen.
Yep.
So I just thought, I mean, it's better to have something than nothing, I guess, right?
Absolutely. So let's do this, guys. We've got a lot to cover here tonight. So what I want to do now is, if you wouldn't mind, Deb, you've probably been one of the most disciplined students on the team. I mean, as far as like execution, I'm not saying every people haven't, but I mean consistently, day in, day out, just following the actual process. So would you mind sharing a little bit, Deb, about what you found? Because you've got your own marketing techniques too, but when it comes to being persistent and consistent, like the two listings you're referring to.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you where I am today, because I actually had a meeting about marketing today. And I'm really clear in my mind that I need to make a list, and I think I could do it through this website, of homes that are most likely to sell in the next year, and then really market to those people. And one of the things that I've done, I'm just starting that particular tactic now. But one of the things that I've done is I have used Realeflow to make a list. And I think mine was for, I think I used board investor as my criteria with a zip code and then sent out letters. And I used, I had a meeting with Gary, so that I'm going to tell you what he told me, which was unclear to me because it's not something that not something I've heard before or used. But he has a letter that is a very good letter, and you just do a mail merge. So you take let's say 20 of the names, the listings. Well, I should say first you have to pay for the phone numbers and emails.
Mhm.
And then you can do it either through Gary has somebody. I use Realeflow to do it. They charge 10 cents a piece, so I feel like it's not that high. And then I sent out the letters and mail merge it. And what I did was there's a font called can't remember the name of the font, but there's a font that looks, yeah, that's the letter. There's a font that looks like handwriting. So I use that for envelopes. And I just did the letter just like this and signed all the letters. And then I used this font that it looks messy. So I figured that would work. And then I waited 5 to 7 days, and then I called the people. And when I called them, I just was very simple in what I said. So I just said, "Hi, this is Deborah Warner. I sent you a letter. Did you see it about selling your house?" And some of them, so I had conversations with some of them. Some of them I never reached. And I said, and then they were asking me questions. I had to meet objections. And they, some people will say, well, I'm willing to sell. And these were people who were not living in the house. They were board investors, which I find easier because they don't have the emotional kind of thing that a homeowner has. And they usually they said, well, if I could get the right price. So I would say, well, what's the price? And then like one person said 300,000. I knew I couldn't get 300,000, but I said, well, why don't I come over and I'll show you what has sold in the neighborhood. It will take 15 minutes, and I promise I'm not going to hard sell you or convince you of anything. I'm just going to give you the information. So, I just feel like that gets me in the door, because the whole thing is you don't want to sell on the phone. You want to get your foot in the door. That's the whole goal.
Yeah,
And
you
I
want the
guess
appointment.
yeah, so I had two. So actually, I had one appointment and one conversation where what happened with that conversation was, and this is another thing that I find, they tell you that once somebody's heard your name 5 times, they think that they know you. And it really has worked that way for me. I used to, when I was doing calling for sale by owner, and I sometimes do, but there was a time that I really specialized in that. When I was calling for sale by owner, I would call them and say, we'd have a conversation and they say, I'm not ready. And I'd say, okay, well, how about if I call you next week? No. How about next week? How about the week after? Okay, that's call me in 2 weeks. And so then when I would call them after about 2 or 3 times, they'd say, hi, Deborah. Like we were best friends, they were really receptive to me. And I've had people say, I wanted you to list my house because I could see that you are very, they didn't say aggressive, but that you really follow up, that you really, really do the job, that you're really working. And so this other one, I had a man's phone number and I called, and then he texted me and said, call, my wife is really in charge. Here's her email. So I emailed her and then I followed, and he gave me her phone number, and I called, and then I texted, and then she called me and said, I'm definitely going to list with you because I could see that you really follow up, that, you know, she went on and on about that. People really appreciate that. And of course, everybody isn't going to appreciate it, but there are people that really see that you're working, and that means a lot to them because that's how they are. They're going to do their job, and if they see somebody else is doing their job, they want to work with you. So, I mean, but you can't just send the letters out. You have to make the phone calls.
Yes. That's one of the key things, guys, is I know people personally and on the team even who just want to do the phone calls. And we know statistically, because we've done this so many times, if you combine the letter with the phone call, you're going to get far higher response rate. Okay. Deb's living proof of it.
Oh,
right?
and I wanted to point out one other thing. It's the same letter every time. You're going to send out the
Yes.
same letter. That was something that I had to discuss that with Gary because I was surprised. It's not usually what people do, but you know, Gary can say that, you know, tell you that doing that has really worked. And you might want to include every once in a while, include something like a market update.
Hi, I just want to take a moment to thank you for watching a recording of the Monday Night Live class. Hope you're getting a lot out of it. I'm sure you will. I wanted to let you know that, you know, you can come to Monday Night Live whenever you want, but you can also participate more with the team. You know, why don't you set up a call with me, a one-on-one strategy call? I can go over everything with you, show you everything that we have to offer. For example, did you know that on our team, not only do you get your leads, we actually give you your own account on our lead gen system. So this puts you in control. You're not waiting on somebody to hand you leads. You get to pick the ones you want. Okay. Huge difference. We have 21 of our own proprietary marketing campaigns. They're all copyright protected. We're the only ones that can use them. Okay. The coaching is absolutely one-on-one. We got 3 coaches. We even have a 4th success coach that we have access to. Okay. One of left fewer than 100 in the world. Okay. One-on-one coaching. You know, right now the big problem is volume. We need more transactions. We need more inventory. I get it. Well, we know how to get it. Our team actually outproduces the national average by more than 2 to 1. So if you're struggling, don't do that anymore. If you're a solo agent, if you're a team, you know, let's just talk. Smart entrepreneurs are always open to discussion. Learn what we have to offer, and then you can make an informed decision about staying where you are or moving on. You got to decide, you know, if you're not where you want to be, you've got to take action to get where you want to be. Let's see how we can help you do that. I look forward to talking to you. Click on the link, set up a call. And by the way, I'll see you on the next Monday Night Live.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, guys, if you're looking at my screen, I've got the letter up. And if you look up top here, I'm moving my cursor around. To do the mail merge that Deb was referring to, you click on mailings. Okay. Now this will look slightly different on a Mac. Okay. But essentially there's an interface where you can do this. Click on mailings. This is what you want to write down. Click on mailings. Then start mail merge. You select letters. That's what you're doing. Then you select recipients, and you're going to use an existing file, the file you downloaded from Realeflow. But there's one step here you have to remember. The file you'll download from Realeflow is CVS file or CSV, excuse me. But when you open it opens up an Excel spreadsheet. You have to save that. You're on your computer, you're on your hard drive, you open up the CSV file, and while you're in that format, the Excel format, so it doesn't have the CSV tag, you know, the extension, you want to save it as an Excel file. Then the mail merge process will find the file. Okay. So please, if you could please, for the new folks, please write that down. And if you are new, remember, you just set up a call with me, and I'm going to go over this with you one-on-one anyways. But I just want you to use this tonight to not have just me speaking and teaching, but to hear from other people who are actively already doing it. And you know, you just learn more that way. So in any case, now, Karen's mentioned a few really good things. Deb's mentioned a few really good things, but Christian, would you mind? Like I meet with Christian regularly too, and he got in such a heavy workload. I mean, he was just knocking stuff out of the park. But Christian, if you would mind, tell people kind of what happened, or what's happening right now, and I'm going to stop the
Yeah.
share. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a good segue from what Deborah was doing. I was using that first letter, which says, "Hey, I have a client who wants to purchase your house," right? And I have an assistant who I was allowing him to do the mail merge and allowing him to do the skip tracing. We used not skip tracing through Realeflow. We were getting a little bit better results. And then he would also every week he would send, or every day, sorry, he would send me kind of a daily mailer, like to what I need to do. And in that daily mailer, it was the 20 letters that I needed to send per day, which, like you'd said, was too many per day. Like, because also I was handwriting, Deborah was using like a font, a script. Well, I was handwriting and hand addressing these letters with a stamper for my return address and signing the inside. 20 ended up being too many per day. So I'm like figuring out the right amount, basically, that makes sense for me because it takes hours, or maybe it should take 10 minutes because I'm trying to do the letters and the calls, like you said. But my assistant is basically sending me an email every day and says, here's the letters you need to send. Here's the people that you sent the letter to last week with their phone numbers. Call them and text them. And then I also am having him put a task into KV Core, which is really helpful so that I can just go in and see, okay, I need to call this 20 people today. And again, this is something where now I have too many people to call on KV Core, so I'm scaling it all down a bit, but it's working. And, it's one of those things that is definitely a delayed gratification type thing because, like you said, I was kind of going ham, like I'm grinding, I'm going to do it. And then nobody calls you back. And you're like, well, this isn't working. And then just 2 days ago, somebody, I think he's not living even in this country, just emailed me. Hey, I got your letter. Here's 10 units. And then again, my Realeflow list is different than a lot of other people's. I'm only going after people with multi-units who don't live there, who are bored investors, who are tax delinquent. That was my list. And it was 3 counties in PA, 3 counties in Florida. And that list was, again, sizable, and I need to figure out the right size list. But basically, the goal was, if I can do well on a first transaction, maybe these investors can know, like, and trust me, and then list their whole portfolio or one at a time or whatever it is. So I've had some success with multiple closing a single client. So it feels like sometimes you're spinning your wheels, but all you really need is one client. Like I have 3 clients that are actually active right now. Would I want more? Yes. But like you said, I'm considering myself a new agent for sure. So it's cool to see 1 or 2 clients that are like, yeah, I have a listing. And then the week after we close, they're like, all right, let's do the next one. So that's been my niche and been my system a little bit. And having the assistant really helps from just having an accountability partner perspective, right? I'm one of those people, I'll grind really good. I'll do everything I need to do. And then for 3 weeks, it's like I'm living at the beach, And so he emails me every day. And he hits me up on WhatsApp and says, hey, what did you do today? Because he's running my analytics as well. He's the one looking at my KPIs as well. So I have a percent of letters that were responded to, percent of calls, which is an analytics tab on KV Core that he just comes in. How many people answered? How many people told me to F off, which a lot of them do? How many numbers didn't exist at all? So then we can get an idea of, is our skip tracing working? All these kinds of things. I'm not doing any of the KPIs. I'd rather be on the phone. I'd rather be the person that's doing the sales, and I'm calling him my data analyst. He does the front end data, he does the back end, and then I'm the strategy person. So that's what I've been doing. Like I said, I'm figuring out the size and scalability of it.
Right. Well, I appreciate that. A couple of key things here, and actually, with Christian and Deb mentioned this, is the same letter. Honestly, guys, it's so well written. And actually, I see Angela Fleming shaking her head because I've known her for years, and she guaranteed knows us. The same letter repeatedly over and over and over again because it uses the word you and your 11 times in that letter, 11 times. If you're using a letter and it doesn't use you or your at least 10 times, that letter's not going to work as well. We also have 2 embedded commands in there. But the key is repetition. It's just the way our minds work. That's why when you look at marketing on television, they keep hammering you. I mean, day after day, week after week, month after month. They do not they're relentless because they know it's just a matter of time. Your subconscious mind's going to say, hey, I think we should go buy Charmin tissue, you know, and forget everything else. That's why we do it. That repetition is absolutely vital. And the other thing, too, is, Deb mentioned this, and then Christian said he had to slow down because it was getting behind, is on the phone calls. You get through the letter and the phone call. Letter, phone call, letter, phone call, letter, phone call, letter, phone call. That's how you get the results. Okay. And what's interesting, I'm going to tell you firsthand, when I first started doing this stuff, I'm thinking, oh man, that sounds like a lot of work. It really isn't. I mean, you're talking, an hour a day max just to get these out. No, you have to spend another hour talking to these people, right? But that's your 2 hours a day lead gen.
And Gary,
right there.
I'll
And it is
interject real quick.
Yeah, it's one of the highest.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, there's a bunch of return to sender letters too. So on the first round, I send out 20, but on the next one on my CRM, I just say return to sender. So almost like 20% of them are getting sent back. The addresses just don't even exist, or it's vacant, or they don't live there. So now on the second round, I'm sending way less.
Yeah. Oh, I knew who that was I was talking to. Gary, I can't remember his last name. Another good Gary, but he wanted to go right to the phone call. And I said, just believe me, we have all the data in the world that tells us if you simply send a letter first for your phone call, you're going to have better results. But another thing that Kristen mentioned here is the file size is really important. And so this prevents you from sending out hundreds and thousands of letters and postcards and everything else to people, and you only do it once. That is not a good way to do it. It's a big expense, and you don't give people time to let that repetition sink in, right? So that's why I work with a small file, 20 to 50 people, and that's it. And you don't create a new file until the existing file, you've been sending it to them, at least a half dozen times. We suggest 12 times, but I'm willing to bet if I took a poll right now, even my own agents have not sent out the letter 12 times, except maybe Deb. Deb may have done that, but most people just do it a half dozen times. That's okay. At least do that. Because Deb, would you agree? A lot of your sponsors are coming in sometimes the second, third, fourth letter, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So, in any case, hey guys, a few more things. Let me go back to the share screen. Hang on one second. All right. So another good thing you can do with people, think about the buyer persona right now. All right. Buyers, they want a nice house like their friends got when they bought 3 or 4 or 5 and 6 or 7 years ago with a 3% mortgage, and the price was half what it is today. Okay. So you can tell your buyers, not only can I find you on and off market properties, I can also find you properties that have assumable mortgages. Okay. So let's go with the same list we already have here. And I'm going to drop the foreclosure activity. Okay. I'm going to start with low equity. So these are the same $1 million plus properties. I'm going to start with low equity. So low equity means, sorry, I'm fighting a little bit of a cold or allergy. If you hover on a question mark, that's people that have a 80% loan to value ratio. So they only have 20% equity. And think about a lot of buyers out there. At this price range, they're putting down 20% because they don't want the PMI insurance on that big giant property. Okay. So if they're going to put down 20% anyways, how many people do you think would be interested in buying a property with the same 20% down, but yet they can get a mortgage with interest rates? They can assume a mortgage with interest rates in a 3% range versus getting their own brand new mortgage at 6 or 7%. What do you think buyers would rather have? A 3% mortgage or a 6% mortgage? All of the factors remaining the same. And just type in your answer. Because I'm telling you, this is a great way to compete with other agents who don't have these tools and say, look, I know all us agents have the MLS and we have the online marketing through social media and blah, 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 blah. But this is you telling the buyers, I can find you properties that have mortgages that are assumable in the 3 to 4% range, where you only need 20% to put down. Would you like to have that? Okay. And that's what you do. So we start off with low equity. So we narrowed that down to 145. Okay. Now I'm going to go out here back to the filters. Okay. I'm going to go up on the mortgage information. And I know FHA mortgages are 100% assumable. Same with VA and USDA. So let's let that search. Okay, none of those. So none of those. Oh, I forgot. Never mind. These guys aren't using FHA. I should know better. So they're, people in that million plus range are using jumbo loans. So what we're looking for is the interest rate. So let's say maximum interest rate 4%. And let's just see what happens. Okay. 131 properties right now in 2 counties with interest rates below 4% or below, and they only have 20% equity in the property. That's the kind of list you want to work with. Okay. So in any case, that's the second big thing I want to show you as far as strategies and tools. But I'm going to show you one more thing, and then we will open up for some Q&A on the analysis tools. Obviously, you have the deal analyzer, the rehab planner, but more importantly, hammer point repair estimator. And again, this is the same tool that the contractors use to do estimates on remodeling and repairs. Okay. So here's 2 scenarios you can use this on. Now, tonight's class is really about how you impress the buyers. So let's start with the buyers. Just raise your hand or type in the chat box if you ever worked with a buyer who's going through a property and they're kind of keeping track of the things that they would like to remodel. Have you ever had it happen? I want to put in new carpeting. I want to change the front door. I want to change all the bedroom doors to be 6-panel doors, or I want to put in new lighting, or I want to paint, or I want a new kitchen countertop. Okay, it happens majority of the time. I mean, the vast majority of time, buyers are thinking of things they want to do to the property, but they don't know what that stuff costs. You do, because Hammerpoint uses a zip code of the subject property, and down here you just click on that little round button. So now no becomes yes, right? Like for roofing, for example, gutters, finish, masonry, painting, windows. Here's an easy one. So if your buyer says, well, we're going to probably want to replace all these windows, and we don't really know what that's going to cost. Well, now you can say, I do. You simply click on windows and doors, put in 10 for 10 windows, and you see they're going to need $2,875 to replace those windows on average for that zip code, right? This is the kind of stuff that's going to help you land the buyers and have them sign your agreement as opposed to an agreement with all those other agents, okay? So, I mean, there's a lot more to this than this. There's so many examples I can give you, but the point is always have your laptop with you and always remember the tools that you had. Just remember Hammerpoint, Pair Estimator. It'll help set you apart from the crowd and make you look more valuable than all the other agents, okay? With the sellers, it's even better because when you go into a listing appointment, you're always going to have sellers going to say, I know 2 neighbors' houses that sold in the last year around here, and I know what they got, and I want to get the same price. And you're looking at the house, and you can see, well, those other houses were painted and had recarpeted. They got new landscaping, whatever. And these guys don't want to lift a finger. They don't want to spend a dime. Yet they want the same sales price. So what you can do is bring up the other examples of the other properties that sold, show them the descriptions, the remarks, then come into here and say, look, if you were going to put in new landscaping, we'll click yes on that. Here's what this would cost. Let's see. Let's do these are $1 million houses. Let's do full landscaping makeover, 1 large lot. Okay, $5,750. So you can tell them, look, for $5,750, you're going to easily, your house is now going to be in the top 10. You're going to be in the top 3 of the top 10. You're more likely to sell in 30 days versus 6 months. And all this stuff you can gather from here and from your MLS. You can find out properties that were not priced right, how long they took to sell, even if they ever did sell, versus properties that were priced right. Houses that were remodeled, little things, simple things, not big expensive things. But the point is, these people want to sell. They need to get realistic on what they have to do to their property to get to be able to be sold. And you can use this tool to help them. And I guarantee you, no other agent is walking into that house, a listing appointment, with this tool. So, in any case, let's do this. Let's open up for some Q&A here. I'll keep both systems up. I haven't even looked at the team platform tonight. Whether you're new to the team or you're new to these platforms or a veteran, if you'd like, it's 8:00 now. I am on vacation. I'm at a big family reunion with my family in North Carolina, my mother's family. There's 20 of us here. I want to watch football. They want to watch the debate. So either way, my whole world's going to change here in about a half hour. So I can stay on a few more minutes. If you guys have questions, please feel free to speak up. I know I bark loud sometimes, but honestly, I'd rather have you ask your questions now than not, because what happens is, as time goes on, your retention drops. You forget things, you don't remember things. And while we're learning, while we're actively doing things, is the debate not today? I thought it was today. Is the debate tonight? Oh, when is it?
Tomorrow.
Oh, wow. Holy smokes. Thanks. See what happened when you go on vacation. I don't know what day it is. I don't know what time it is, But in any case, hey, problem solved. We have this giant theater room here with a huge, massive wall-to-wall screen. That's going to be cool. All right,
You're
let me check the
definitely
chat.
going to miss it tomorrow, too.
What's that?
You're definitely going to miss it tomorrow, too, because your brain's on beach time.
Oh, I tell you what, I would much rather be outside looking at the stars. Where we are is four-wheel drive territory. There's no roads. There's no stores. There's no restaurants. It's just, you go out to the sand dunes and look up and you see just an amazing array of stars. Look at my background. That's not here. That's obviously something from NASA, but I love outer space. Hey, Quinzella, how you doing? You're muted, honey. Oops, I just called you honey. I'm sorry.
Hey, I'm good. How are you guys?
I'm doing pretty good. It's good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yeah. Hey, listen, really, let me know what questions you have, guys. If you don't, that's okay. I'll definitely go, and I think they've got peach pie upstairs. But I would rather spend the time with you and help you get to your next level, because I know what it's like out there. I'm telling you, I've seen, this is my 5th market cycle, and I'm not saying we're headed for a recession tomorrow. I know we're going to have a recession. We all do. We just don't know when. So the point is why panic? Why not just prepare? All the work that you're doing today, everything that we're going over, everything that I'm teaching is going to position you so that when the recession does hit, you already have your machinery up and running. You're not having to pull the lawnmower out of the shed at the last minute and scramble to compete with the competition. Always have one foot in front of you. My philosophy is one eye on today, one eye on tomorrow. You have to be present in the moment. Be with your people. Be with your clients today. Prepare using these tools. Prepare yourself for the market tomorrow. Because what I didn't go over tonight was, once you have your lead sourcing in place, we have all the follow-up campaigns you need, not only on KV Core, but on our team website. I guess I should show you that.
Gary, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
On that Realeflow, can you find vacant properties? Like, I'm down here in Margate, New Jersey, okay, and I ride by and I look at these old houses, some of these houses that they're vacant.
Yep.
Can you pop up on that Realeflow the owner of the property?
Oh, absolutely. Here, let me show you. So
Right, cool.
Margate, Margate City, New Jersey.
Yep.
Okay. Now keep your mic on here.
101 Ventnor Avenue. Or no, 101 Winchester Avenue.
You going to
And
that?
Okay. So let's click on vacancy. So you got 6,712 properties here. Let's click on vacancy. Now, how they're determining vacancy, if you click on the question mark, it actually tells you how. They're using the U.S. Postal Service. Okay. So you got 82 of them. 82 properties are vacant in Margate. But if you want to put in a specific address, let's put that in. So what's the address?
I think I rode by it today, 101 Winchester Avenue and Quincy. So it's on Winchester, on the corner of Winchester and Quincy. 101, okay. I guess north.
Avenue North?
Yeah, 101 North, I think it is. The south with the other side of Atlantic Avenue or Ventnor Avenue.
There's New Haven, Connecticut. Excuse me.
So my question is, I don't have Realeflow. I should get that, right?
Well, heck yeah. I mean, this is what we're using on the team.
Yeah, I don't have it. I'm with KW down here in Ocean City, New Jersey, and I don't have that. So that's a separate thing I'd get all together, right?
Well, you can get it here. If you go to Realeflow, you're going to pay $400 a month for this platform I'm showing you tonight. You can get one of our accounts for $100 a month, man. You know, it's the same account. Yeah, here, let me show you. Here's let me click on my profile. So here's everybody on the team. There's people that are not on the team. So
I don't have to be an agent with. I don't have to be an agent with EXP.
No, not at all. Nope, you can get this. I mean, look at all these people. You know, so it'll definitely save you money. But the thing that I like about it is, we've already been doing this for 4 years. We know it works. We got the team platform. We got this platform. Here, let me show you. So in here, like if you click on marketing, and this is why I'm glad this came up. The reason why we let you have the team platform in addition to Realeflow is, for the last 3 years, we've been developing and improving our marketing campaigns. We've created AI tools. We developed an entire GA resource deck complete with scripts that have all been developed and used using the lead sourcing we're getting for Realeflow. So does that make sense? Like, if all I gave you was Realeflow, I can't guarantee what results going to be anyways.
Get my butt on the team. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to be on the team.
Well, no, I mean, what was it? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, the point is like we have KV Core here. I know at KW Command is, and I understand Command's made some great improvements. Thank goodness, because man, when they rolled that out, I mean, they were completely. Well, I shouldn't. The big teams were not happy with it, but they made some improvements. You can do some of the stuff here, but here's the thing that's important. This is why this is really important. If I knew you had our team platform and this lead generating platform, the lead sourcing platform, I don't have to worry about whether or not you have KV Core or Command or anything like that. I know you have everything that we have that we've been using to get these results. And we've closed, as of like today, something like 978 transactions. I mean, that's a
all right. So how do I get that? How do I get that, Gary?
Well, Kevin, do I still have? I think I still have your email address, right?
Probably. It's Kelleher Kevin 1959 at gmail.com.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, just send me all that. If you don't mind.
All right, 1959. So Kevin
1959 at gmail.com.
Yep. So I'll send an email. There's a process to go through, but then at least, like, and Kevin, just so you know, that doesn't give you the coaching with me, the one-on-one. I'm going to get you up and running, no doubt about it.
That's cool. But I'm going to get a coach anyway. I'm going to pay a coach. I'm going to pay a coach where I work at.
Yep.
So I'll have a coach.
Well, I know somebody that I would recommend at KW. Jeff Quinton.
Where I'm at, the office, Ocean City.
Jeff Quinton. Yep.
Oh, yeah. He always want me to join. He try to get me joined all summer. You got to go full time. You got to go full time.
He will kick your butt, but it's worth it.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Yep. Just tell him I said that.
All right. So you're going to send that email? I will. You're going to send that email.
By the way, he's going to be on my podcast coming up here. We're going to interview him in a couple of weeks.
That's great. Yeah, there's a reason why I
very-
come to your meeting every Monday night. There's definitely a reason.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, send me
You
all
know,
that information if you can.
you got it. I will. So, but on the team platform, I don't want to spend a lot of time on that.
No.
But
Okay.
I mean, because we're running out of time here. But these things will make more sense, right?
Yeah.
When you're using them, everybody here is using them the same way, and not everybody does this day in and day out. I know that. I mean, Deb Warner's got other stuff she's doing. You know,
Yeah.
Shasteen does. Anna Galubian has a number of things she's doing. Kendra does. Bonetta does. I don't think Bonetta's on tonight. But in any case, yeah, I'll send you an email, Kevin, and then you've already got my phone number, so let's just stay in touch on that. And then anybody else. So I want to touch real quick with some of the newer folks. So Hannah Bergman, are you still here tonight? You're muted, and I got a still shot, so I can't tell if you're there or not. So if there's Hannah. At least you were for a second. How are you?
I'm a little sick, so I haven't been speaking.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I'll tell you what, I think you set up a one-on-one already, right?
Not yet, but I'm going to.
Okay, go ahead and do that. This week there's no spots available because I'm technically on vacation, but you'll see him next week. What I want to emphasize is, guys, do not hesitate. Don't fool around. I'm telling you, hit the ground running. And it's for the reason that those two people gave Deb Warner. See, they let fear in. There is no room for fear here. Okay? There is no room for fear here. Fear is going to mess you up. It's going to make you wait and delay. The people that succeed understand this, and they move in like the cavalry, right? And they're the ones that get all the business, and that's you. Okay? That's you. Take action every single day. Wake up. Christian and I had this call probably, about 6 months ago? Christian, we're talking about this. You have to wake up every day, hit the ground running, because you're going to now be in the top 20%. And I can promise you, everybody in the top 20% is waking up every day and hitting the ground running. Okay? They're not worried about you. They're just worried about keeping up and having time with their families. And you should too. The point is to be in the top 20% takes commitment. Okay? And you have to take action every day, but it becomes natural for you. It becomes habit for you. And now I would be lost if, I should knock my family because I love them, but there's a lot of people in this house here. I can tell you, by tomorrow, by the time they wake up, I will have already said my prayers, meditated, exercised, gone out and set up all 3 beach tents, right? Filled up the coolers, come back, eat breakfast, and I've got about an hour of work tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I'll be on the beach before they even wake up. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that I'm right and they're wrong. It's not what I'm saying. But when you're in business, you have to have that type of mindset, because if you don't, you're always going to be spinning wheels. Have you ever felt that way? Like you're just not getting where you want to go? You know it's there. I'm telling you, you're literally about 1 degree away. If you're already here in class tonight, I know you're serious because you're in class, right? Have you ever heard the theory about water? It's not a theory, it's a fact. At 211 degrees, water is just sitting still. You add 1 more degree, 212 degrees, that water is boiling. Same thing here. I promise you, you're literally probably 5 minutes a day away from getting to your next level. If you had 5 minutes times 365, you're going to find yourself with about a week worth more time in a year to produce. How much can you do in a week with your life? Probably a lot. I guarantee you can get a listing out of that. So little things like that make a difference. It starts to sink in. So in any case, I feel like I'm starting to preach, and I don't want to turn people
Gary,
off.
if I could piggyback off what you said, I remember a conversation we had, and I was explaining that, there's family time in my life. I don't want to be at the office every day at 8 a.m. And you made an awesome suggestion that said, you know what, just take Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. It doesn't have to be every day, but spend those hours. And for me, I'm the kind of person that I'm either going or I'm off or on, right? And that's something that allowed me to have a little grace for myself as well, where, you know what, take Tuesday morning and have a lazy morning. I'm in the office maybe at noon. Maybe I'm not coming in at all, right? Because it's that lifestyle that I want. If I wanted a 9 to 5, I'd have chosen 9 to 5. But just having those little extra Monday, Wednesday, Fridays where I am there, like you said, you have your your daily routines and the marketing that I'm doing, that I don't have to reach out. I'm doing that prep or that maybe the transaction coordination stuff. All of that's done before 9:30, the education, all of that. It doesn't have to be every day, but just 3 days a week, like you said, and that's made a difference for me. So super helpful to have the
It's all
balance.
about preparation. And guys, I want to tell you something. Sometimes I feel bad when I listen to recordings of myself. All right. I want you to feel good about yourself. I want to lift you up. I want to inspire you. I don't want you feeling bad about yourself. If what I just said makes you feel bad, please don't. You know, I wasn't always like this, but life required of me to step up to the plate a long time ago, not just once, but 3 times, 3 different occasions. I was like, if I don't do this, I'm done. Okay. So I don't want you to have to be in that situation. I'd rather have you prepare now, like Christian just said, so that you can enjoy more time with the people you love doing the things you enjoy. Okay. I'd rather just hammer it for 3 years in a row. When I build a new business now, this team was brand new 4 years ago from scratch. Okay. It's the same level it was last year. But what we've done is we were able to let go of some of the employees because we got to build. We don't need all that operation manpower. Now this thing is moving like a screaming demon. Right. I would rather do that in 3 years than take 30 years just kind of working like an average load. All right. Because I know what happens. You never get where you want to go. I promise you, if you just work with me. If you're on the team and you haven't done a vision exercise in a while, it's time to do one. Okay. If you're not on a team, unfortunately, there's things you just don't get. You don't get the 90-day fast start, which includes the vision exercise. You don't get our team's investor training programs, and you don't get coaching with me. You do through class, but unfortunately, I have to. My time for coaching is devoted to the team members because they're giving me 25% of their commissions. So I'm not in production, so my time with them. That's why I'm doing this on vacation. I love these people. When I look at this room full of people here, Dorothy, Kurt, you know, Kathy, Craig, Val, Jean, Dashita. By the way, would you guys mind please saying happy birthday to Dashita? Because today is her birthday, and she's an
Happy
awesome human being.
birthday!
Yeah,
Happy birthday.
look at that face. Yeah,
Sorry, happy birthday.
yeah. But Tom, PF. I mean, I've known Tom
Happy birthday.
literally most of my adult life. I've known PF for probably the longest year. Yeah, and Dorothy too. By the way, Eric. I mean, I'd even go to the second screen of people here, but you know, we're. I don't know how to describe this to you. I'm just telling you, I'm committed because I know these people, right? And I know what's going on in their lives. And I know if I can be there for them and help them get to the next level, then I've got a good thing for them. And that's my mission statement. Well, it's in here in this card. All it says is I'm going to improve the life of every person I come across. I don't know if I'm achieving that or not, but I'm sure heck is going to try every single day. So when EXP said yes, we're going to let you share your platform, I committed 100%. And I don't give up. I mean, the person who probably knows me the most here is probably Tom because he's married to one of my cousins. So we're country cousins. But he'll tell you, I do not give up. So I'm going to ask you to do the same thing. Do not give up on yourself because I'm not. Okay. And 2 people not giving up on you, that's a lot more powerful than one. So just keep sticking with it. Believe in yourself. Write out some affirmations. Tell them to yourself every single morning. Ask for what you want. And please forgive me if you feel like I'm preaching to you. Ask for what you want in prayer. Okay. And believe you're going to receive it. Even if you don't believe in God, still do it. Okay. I'm telling you, there's magic that happens out there. And I don't understand why it all happens, but I just know that it does because I've experienced it. I want you to experience it. In any case, I'm really getting preachy here. I better stop. Let's check the questions. If any more final questions, Ishita, everybody loves you. Happy birthday.
Everybody. Thank you guys.
Yeah. And I'm going to go back and look through questions here. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate the comments. Anyone using transaction coordinator option 3XP? So that's Christian. So Christian, I don't think anybody on the team is, but we do have somebody on our team, Michelle Why am I drawing a blank? Hereford, Michelle Hereford on her team. She's actually pretty affordable. She's good. She does like
She
everything,
was excellent.
What's that?
She was excellent.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna knock EXP because I really don't know. I haven't used them. But when I looked into the program, they're only literally just loading up the paperwork for you, right? You can do that in 5 minutes, the sky slope. But if you use Michelle, she's going to actually truly coordinate and manage that transaction for you. You know, it'll save you some time. But I'm going to tell you right now, I would rather you guys learn how to do it yourself first before you hand it off to somebody else. Even if it's not your cup of tea. If you hate paperwork, I get it. But at least learn how to do it so you understand what Michelle's doing. And if your broker calls you, you know what they're talking about. Definitely everything you do in life when you delegate, make sure you know how to do it first, okay, before you delegate it. So, whew, okay. I'm burning some calories tonight, man. It's hot down here too, let me tell you. So, okay, everybody ready? Gonna have a good week? All right. Use the scheduling link. Set up a call with me. You're very welcome. I'm glad to do it, guys. I mean, I love this stuff. I see the results every day come in. We're closing a transaction a day now. Actually, there was 30-day period last month. 20 people closed 40 transactions.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Yes.
So be one of them. Ask yourself, who do I want to be? Do I want to be the 80% that's just kind of, taking the easy way? I got to tell you this. I'm sorry, then we'll go. What happens in life when you always try to take the easy way? Or what doesn't happen in life when you try to take the easy way all the time? Nothing happens. You stay stuck. But what happens when you do the hard thing? You get results. And the funny thing is, you find out it wasn't that hard after all. It wasn't that hard after all. You just have to keep working. You got to perfect it. Marketing just takes a while. It does. It's a momentum thing. You got to be persistent and consistent. And that's why I always tell people, don't do 5,000 things. Just do 3 and start with 1. Start 1, get it up and running. Then add the second one, get it up and running. Then add the third thing and stop, because it is hard enough trying to manage and track 3 marketing campaigns, let alone 6 or 7. It doesn't, just forget that. Just stay, whoever, if you're not with me on the team, whatever coach you're with, whatever team you're on, make sure they're giving you this stuff, charts and graphs, things to help you manage and everything. Knowing your numbers, I can't emphasize that enough. And I used to not do that. But I'm telling you, when I learned to do that, I became a much better business person. I knew exactly how many letters to send. I knew exactly how many phone calls to make. Right? I knew how many appointments to keep. And I knew how many listings I would get. And then I was able to duplicate it and replicate it. And then I was able to teach it. So, in any case, you guys have an awesome night. And if you need anything, you know how to get a hold of me. No scheduled appointments this week, but you got my phone. You know how to text me, call me, and email me. And I am keeping up so far. And then I will see you all next Monday. Oh, people on the team, we postponed this week's team meeting till the following Wednesday, the 18th. So please write that down. The Sugar put some posts online today. And we'll see you then.
Thank you for watching this episode of Monday Night Live. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and go to realestatewithgarywilson.com to join our community and start building wealth today.